Yeah, what does it take? You've got to have a passion for agriculture. I absolutely love farming. You know, we couldn't foresee what's happened. It's just we've been in the right place at the right time. I had no idea. I never dreamt of running a business like this. So I'm Andrew Quigley, based here in Ashburton, New Zealand. And we started contracting back in 2003. My parents were sheep and beef farmers based in the local area. I left school and worked for another contractor and travelled to the UK and gained experience driving different machinery, and come home and decided to start contracting. Bought a baler and a rake and started sort of doing our own work, I suppose, on the farm, and then started working for neighbours around us, and obviously the business has just grown from there. So that's how we got started. So when we started contracting back in 2003, we had a MX 110 case tractor and a TS 110 New Holland with a tractor with a loader on it. We just had like a medium square baler and a round baler, like a Welger 520 round baler. So that's sort of what we started with, and a bale wrapper. So a couple of tractors and trailers running and baling. We sort of started with four. Myself, I drove the baler. I had my sister and cousins would work for me, and my neighbour would work for us, and just sort of started as a small team and grew up from there. For the first 2 seasons, we were just baling only, and then we had a demand for, we could probably see a bit of an opportunity. We had other contractors travelling into the area from a long distance away, and we had our customers, our baling customers, that were sort of keen on us getting into the foraging. So we bought our first forager in the 3rd season, so it must be around 2005, 2006. By the end of the 1st season, we actually had 3 foragers. The growth was like unbelievable. So our first forager we purchased was an 850 class, the pre-speedster, like the 492 I think it is, or whatever it is. But we had an 850 class, and then we had 2 John Deere 6750 foragers as well. So we've always sort of run those 800 classes, and we've got pretty stony conditions here, and the rock stop that was available on the class machines was probably a key thing for us at the time, which John Deere obviously followed. Yeah, we love the class machines, and we didn't have nothing against the John Deeres. It's just the way we went, I suppose, and we've got a really good dealership very close to us, and that's why we're with class. We were definitely at the right place at the right time. So this area has changed a lot. A lot of irrigation developments happened in the old, back when we started, there was a lot of flood irrigation and sheep and beef farms. It was predominantly sheep and beef and some arable, and with the irrigation development come the dairy conversions. So in 20 years we've been in business, there's been a drastic change in intensification in this area, which has meant that there's been more opportunities around offering more agricultural contracting services. So that's how the growth. We've been in the right place at the right time, to be fair. So we've got a dairy farm. We've got a 100 hectare freestall barn dairy farm. So we run like a bit of a hybrid sort of system, autumn calving, 600 cows, and using GRASSMEN. The grass is available, and then when it's cold in the winter, we have the cows inside. So you do have a farm. When we originally started Quigley Contracting, we were based on our farm where I grew up, and that's where our dairy farm is now. That's where accommodation still is today. We operated there probably the first 12 years. We then moved to Tynwald just because there was some commercial buildings available and a yard available. travel that sort of helped us get closer to Ashburton, where our full-time staff travel from. And then we've owned this yard where we are, which is 20 hectares of land, and we have owned this probably for the last 12 years probably, and we moved out here 2 years ago, so we built the office and workshop. We've been building buildings. Every few years we just build another building with the intentions of moving here eventually. So with 3 forage harvesters, so 3 Class 870s. We've got 4 loader wagons, 50 cube loader wagons, and we have got a fleet of about 14 trucks, 14 truck and trailers, and tractor-wise we would have, I don't know, 50 nearly tractors, I would have thought, somewhere in there. And then some Volvo loading shovels, 2 Volvo loading shovels and 2 JCBs for the stacks, so yeah. Some operators that come out here love and swear by the JCBs, and some love and swear by obviously the Volvo. We like them both. They've obviously got their good points and bad points, but yeah, we think the Volvo loader for us, that's sort of where we've gone, and we think that they're very reliable and they're a smooth machine. We're pretty happy with them, yeah. So mainly, so back in the day we started with Case, and then when that New Holland influence sort of come in, we sort of opted to go to John Deere. We run John Deere for a lot of years, and we're really tied up at the time with needing 280 horsepower sort of tractors, small frame 280 horsepower, high horsepower tractors for the mowing and stuff. And the 7230s, we just didn't have a great run in that sort of 7R space. And at the time, we felt that Fendt was sort of where we wanted to go. That gave us the versatility of having a machine high horsepower and could do many things. So today we're Massey's predominantly in the small space, like 150 horsepower loaders and rakes, and then Fendt, 828s up to 939s, sort of depending, cultivation tractors, obviously the high horsepower Fendts, and then so that 280 horsepower stuff's the balers and the and mowers and drills. Yeah, we're having conversations, and we think that the John Deere will be a part of our business going forward. A part of it with Fendt and Massey. Very happy with Fendt and Massey, but we think that just with the amount of volume of tractors we've got, it's pretty good to sort of spread the risk around service and backup. And if you end up with, I think we've got 12 or 13 828 Fendts at the moment, if you end up with a block of tractors, all one brand, and there's a problem with them, you sort of got a big problem, because obviously it multiplies, with the amount we've got. So by spreading the risk, I think it's actually quite, so John Deere is definitely an option for us moving forward, to be a part of what we do. There's been some, engine faults and stuff on the 828s, but they've stood by them and they've looked after us on it. No, they're pretty good. The Fendt and Masseys have been really good, yeah. We've got 724, so we've got one 724 in it, and it's pretty good. It's pretty versatile. Yeah, we can work with a 7-size tractor. So 7 and 9's fine. If we don't have the 8, it's probably right with the 7. So the 8 series Massey, I personally love the things. They sound amazing. They've got a sound of their own. They're reliable. They've been really good. Not as versatile as probably like the equivalent of like an 828 or something. We find them a bit more nimble and easier on mowers and stuff. And yeah, but no problems at all with them. They've been good. So our Masseys are on a shift. The bigger two we've got, the 320 horsepower ones, are Vario. Yeah, so I've actually driven a wee bit myself, the Massey Vario, and it's been good. It's pretty simple. It's probably a tractor that anyone can hop in and drive. But the Fendt's in a league of its own. Once you obviously get used to the Fendt. I've been out mowing a couple of times this season on the 828s and 930 Fendt and 939, and once I find my way around the computer and around the GPS and the controls, and once they're set up for me, they're all amazing. Yeah, you wouldn't have anything else. We had a 970. It worked really well. We opted to stay with the 870s, 800 series class. Just the simplicity, that drum, the classic drum, pretty fond of the classic drum, especially with our stones. We find them, they're pretty tough, and they handle the tough stuff, I suppose. But yeah, look, it's either for us, it's probably 8 or 900, but we're pretty happy with what we've got today. So the difference in between the drums, obviously the open drum of the 900 we had with the double bolt blades, we just found that when the stones were going through, they would just do far more damage where the classic drum would handle it. Like, I've got a pretty good broad understanding, but it just seems to be the 800 series class have been really good for us. Yeah, we're sort of always limited. What we found with the 970 is we had to be pretty strategic of where we were putting it, because it all comes down to the stack, and the quality of the job we're doing in the stack. And we've got the Volvo 120 we've got now is obviously a bigger machine than the previous 434, 435s. So that's given us more capacity in the stack. So we could handle more horsepower again now with the bigger loader. But we sort of always, we run 2 forages full time through the season, and we have a third one as a backup. And when we get on short carts, when we're busy, we'll start running 3. We like the idea of having a third as a backup, just in case something goes wrong. And we can be, and yes, you could run a 9, 9, 10, you could get through the volume of grass, possibly we do with 2 870s maybe a day, but you're only looking after 1 customer on that day versus 2. So I sort of think that, and it comes down to the stack size and making sure the machine in the field is matched to doing the quality job in the stack. So that was the challenge we had at the time with 435 with the 970. It was too much. You get a good man on the stack, he could handle it, but just the quality of the job and the compaction just wasn't where we wanted it to be. So that's why we went back to 870. So the baling side of the business is we run 2 McHale Fusions 3s, and we focus on the film on film. We're promoting that. We think it's a good thing around quality of the product coming out of the bales. So we run 2 Fusions, run 6 5300 class balers that are baling predominantly silage and straw, but they're the go-to for our silage or balage. And then we've got a fleet of 6 crone balers, so crone large square balers. So there's 3 6-string high density balers and 3 8-string high density balers, and then we've also got 3 high density Massey 2270 XDs. So yep, so we do a lot of straw. We pretty much run sort of 3 to 4 balers, square balers through the Christmas time and silage, and then we flick into straw, and we could be running 14, 15 balers in straw. And then we've got 3 bale chasers, scooping up the bales and stacking them into a convenient place out of the way of the irrigation, and in a place where we can load out. So we've got a lot going on in straw. Always had McHales on and off for a number of years, and in my view, I haven't seen anything as good. They're sort of the go-to for us. They're the go-to. They're like the Vardestat Tempo maize and fodder bed planter. They're the industry leader, and they're reliable and they do their job, and McHale Fusion falls into that space. So yeah, they're a good machine. It just falls back within resale. It's not necessarily, it is the purchase price. Purchase price is important, but it's the cost of ownership in between. So we're analysing that cost of ownership thing, and I guess when you see the other brands come on the market secondhand, some of them are a bit harder to sell, or and it's not even just that either, it's the backup of the machine. So having the local service agent based in Ashburton here, and having the parts on hand, and with things like McHale and class forages, and they're common here, and we're a long way away from the rest of the world. So if you're buying what everyone else has got, you're in a place where there's more chance of having the part on the shelf, where if you buy something that's outside of that, there's less chance of having the part on the shelf. If you'd worked for us, over the years, we've had pretty average yards, pretty small bays, and our workshop, when we started, we had 4 or 5 machines. Now we've got 200 machines, and when we started, our workshop was fine, and it was amazing. And then as the machinery grew bigger and the amount of it grew, our workshop outgrew itself pretty quickly. So when we moved the first time, it was amazing because we had a bit more space, and now we've moved into this facility and we've sort of built it for the future. And it's amazing. Yeah, it's awesome. So we're pretty proud of what we've achieved, and what we've built here is it gives a comfortable working environment for all of the people working for us. So yeah, if we are in the busy time, so now, and I see machinery sitting out in the yard, I'm like, why? Asking the question, and but I'd rather see it out obviously working, and I'm pretty proud of the fact when it's all out working and doing a good job, quality job, and customer satisfaction there, that's what drives me. But yeah, when you see all of the machinery together, it's a bit scary, to be honest with you. It's a bit overwhelming when you think about it. You think, how did this happen? You feel pretty grateful, to be honest with you, for the achievements of what people have done for us in this business and our customer base. You feel, it blows you away. It's pretty amazing, to be fair. So I'll pass you guys over to Rob, and he'll give you a quick look around the yard and explain sort of how everything works.
My name's Rob. I'm the operations manager here at Quigley Contracting. So I've worked here for 11 plus years now, and first came to New Zealand from the UK in 2007. Sort of been here for nearly 18 years. First arrived with my family, so we emigrated over just for different pace in life over here, and sort of got involved in contracting and never left since. Yeah, so the lifestyle sort of changed between here and the UK. It was, I suppose everyone refers to it as being a bit more relaxed, and it's just probably down to the population, the volume of people, and the way that, particularly around here in Canterbury, a lot of the businesses and the way of life are all tied in together. Everything's fairly reliant on everything else. So yeah, you find that the work ethic's very good over here. People work hard, but at the same time too, they're all about the lifestyle and enjoying themselves. And we're very lucky here in Canterbury. Over the winters, we've got mountains that are close for skiing and snowboarding, mountain biking, boating. So you've got a really nice balance of being able to, work hard, during the week or whatever, and then within a very short period of time, you're pretty close to lots of out-of-work activities, and just it's a really good way of life. So today we can take you on a bit of a tour around our yard. So we've built this yard a couple of years ago specifically for the business, and we're slowly sort of building up from there, so we can go for a bit of a wander around. We built this workshop. We sort of always sort of worked out quite a small workshop environment, so we try to purposely build this to suit what we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So we run a full crew of guys and girls here in the workshop, and we try and tackle most jobs ourselves, whether it be from tyres, hydraulics, through to breakdowns, and then full rebuilds. So we're pretty lucky here in terms of we can fix and sort most things, and if we can't, then we're reliant on the local dealerships and contractors to help us out when we get stuck. We're fairly well set up with quite a lot of machinery, and there's an awful lot of knowledge of people who've grown up through the business, from apprentice mechanics, overseas mechanics that come in and help, as well as guys and girls that are operators, and we all sort of work together to keep the whole system running. This is our service bay. We do all of our roll-throughs of machinery, from trucks to tractors, utes. So we have a couple of guys that are based out of here, so they will do all the service work and also any of the breakdown stuff. So every day, morning, this is quite a busy environment, and then as the day sort of tracks through, as you can tell at the moment, it's a bit quieter in here. They're sort of more focused on the breakdown repairs and service work for machinery going into the summer period. Through into here is our main workshop area. So we have engineering, parts, and also just the general machinery maintenance happening in here. So there's anything from just simple ute servicing happening through to square baler full rebuilds for the summer period, as well as there's a number of tractors in here getting maintenance work done as well. Full time we've got 7 mechanics on, and they range in skill sets, so across the entire business those guys have got skills in all different areas, so we don't necessarily have certain people in certain areas. So as far as general maintenance and breakdowns goes, all of those guys and girls throw their hands at anything to keep the business running. And we like to try and keep that good mix and exposure on all different areas, so therefore people are building skill sets up and able to throw their hand at anything. So so here we've got a couple of balers that are getting a bit of work done at the moment. The Fusion's just getting a bit of running maintenance done, and then we've got the likes of the chrome baler here. So these bigger balers we only use for the straw season. So we've got Drew, one of our mechanics, on here, and he's doing a full, what we would call a winter service, even though it's approaching summer. So that baler will get a full check over, so it's all ready to go when we hit harvest, get hooked onto the tractor and out into the field. So for us, popularity wise, we are predominantly squares. We run a lot more square balers, and it's down to the nature of the way that the bales are wrapped, so a lot of tube wrap bales on farm, and then over the summer period for the straw, the squares from a storage and a transport aspect. So round balers typically are used on more of the smaller farm setups or trade deals where there's certain crops that get baled up and stored and then transported and sold at a later date. So that's where the round bales sort of come into their own. So and then the last part of the workshop here is our engineering bay. So this is more for running repairs, and we also do a bit of engineering or building fabrication of things. So like an example here, we've got a silage bin that's getting made for a truck and trailer unit, and this is actually for one of our subcontractors that comes in and works alongside us. So we sort of don't really take on huge, massive projects, but we've got the ability to fix anything when we need to, as well as sort of modifications. If we can see an option to make something a little bit better or suit us, then we'll try and do stuff in-house here. So any of the bigger projects, like building a truck decks and so on and so forth, all that's sort of done by local contractors that help us out. And then sort of out into our main yard area, we've got sort of 3 main sheds set up for the machinery storage. Like I said, we moved in here about a year and a half ago, and so we're still trying to get sort of set up, but the idea is that we've got a long-term storage shed, wrap and consumables, so we try and keep plenty of that on stock. And then we've got the general machinery sheds here, that the machinery that's working on a day-to-day basis, when it's not left out on farm, it's back here in the yard packed in the sheds. And then the main yard space here, so it seems like a huge area, but it can be quite a busy place in the morning, so plenty of space for the operators to be able to fold the machinery out, get serviced up, make sure everything's ready to go for the day, and then they head on out. So we shoot across to our main office and sort of dispatch area where we get the team going first thing in the morning. So yeah, this is probably one of the most important bits of kit we've got here in the yard, to be honest with you. So it's a weighbridge setup. Really it sort of serves the main function as all the product that comes in and goes out is all weighed. So all of the trading that we do is on a weight basis typically. So if the teams are local and it's easy to roll over here, we do so. So whether that be bales or through the chop silage. And then when we get to the harvest season and throughout the year, there's a lot of feed moving backwards and forwards, particularly straw. And so everything's bought and sold on a tonnage basis. So we would be lost without this here in the yard. So, and it gets used all day, every day. Yeah, it's quite a significant part of the business. It's something that's grown as the years have gone by. We service local clients as well as North Island, and there's a proportion of it an export market too. So we try and bale enough product that we can suit the contracts and sales that we've got. We try not to sit on a huge amount of surplus. So it's often, a bit of a juggling act to make sure that we get enough product to suit the sales that we've got for the following year. So the bales that are here in the yard come from mainly the Mid-Canterbury region, specifically quite a lot from arable farms and runoff sort of systems. So we'll travel typically within about an hour and a half of this central base here, and a lot of products all brought in and then brought back to this sort of central location. We do have another 2 yards as well where we have shed storage for straw, but typically we don't leave a lot of product out on site. We try and get it back here in sheds or covered well, and that way we try and reduce the wastage. That all of the product that's here or stored here in the yard is stuff that we will buy as either a standing crop or as a straw in the swath. So anything that comes in is stuff that we've processed and baled ourselves and transported. Yeah, so this is the main office and the smoker room for the guys. It's a reasonably chaotic place at certain times, but yes, same again too. We're so heavily reliant on a lot of the paperwork and the app system that we use, so there's an awful lot of time spent in here processing invoices, working through. So part of the manager's team job isn't just keeping the crews organised as well, so they are booking jobs in, creating jobs, processing through for the admin team to then send the invoices out. So it's a pretty important part of the business. So this is the main operator's entrance. So We've tried to set this up with each of these stations here is where the managers sit, and over the sort of busy straw period we have also somebody manning the weighbridge, so they sit down there and processing all the trucks that come through. So at this point in time, everybody's out and about in the field, checking grass, making sure jobs are going well. And then typically later in the day, you'll find it'll be quite a busy spot where the managers are in here processing invoices, making plans for the next day. We try and make plans the night before, so everybody's hitting the ground running, they know what they're up to. We're really relying on, we have key people within the teams as well, so each of the teams has got a senior member who knows what's happening and able to help direct any questions and work through the workload of the day. So, but if there's any questions, then it's people have got direct access. It's easy to come and see people and ask questions, or if there's any problems. Yeah, so the different sections to the business are, we have the chopping and the loader wagons, and the transport is all organised by Tim. And then we have the baling part of the business, so Ben runs that, and that's the square and the round bales. And then we've got Hugh, who looks after the cultivation, drilling, and the slurry side. And then, yeah, through the rest of the office, we have a couple of guys that are involved in the sales of the business. So they're running around trading grass, straw, and also the sort of key clientele. They spend a lot of time out on the road, checking grass that's for sale and then putting deals together, which then gets transferred across to the operational guys who make sure the job gets done. And then, down here we have our, what we call smoker room here in New Zealand, which is break room effectively for the team. And as the years have gone by and we've been in a few different offices and smoker room setups, and the room has to keep getting bigger and bigger as the team's got bigger. So when we have a few meetings each month just to update the team on what's happening, it's a busy spot and the room fills up pretty quick. But we're really lucky to have got the premises we've got, sort of built for the business and the way that we operate. So it works really well. And then arguably probably what could be the most important part of the business is our lovely admin team who deal with all the tricky part and paperwork. Hey, Sue.
Yep.
So they get the raw end of the deal. They've got to keep everybody in line and make sure that everything in the background's flowing and working through.
So at Quigley Contracting, we focus around employment of staff. We've always focused on getting people with the right attitude coming into the business, around the sort of the can-do attitude. They'll throw their hand to anything that needs to be done on the day. And one thing, we've only got 3 forage harvesters and so many balers coming into Quigley Contracting. It's having an open mind that you're starting on a rake or you're starting on a loader, and if you progress and you do a really good job and you come back for the second season, those opportunities are there, but you've got to show the right sort of attitude around your willingness to do what's needed in the business. Absolute crucial to have a team of people that absolutely love their job and enjoy working with each other.
So, it turns out you can actually stuff a forager in New Zealand. As a boy says, when you have a Fermanagh man driving, you can take the Fermanagh man out of the bog, but he will always find the wet spot. It is right and wet that wee bit though, in fairness. How do you feel? How are you feeling right now, Kelly, about this operation of coming to like the driest place in the world and still stuffing a forager?
Not so good today.
Hey, you know the best answer? No comment. And this man here, he's flat out driving it. What's the breed of her?
Yeah, she's a UD.
A UD?
Yeah.
Uniquely different.
Uniquely different.
And is that the genuine name, UD, but it's essentially a Volvo?
She's a Volvo.
To be honest, she looks dead on. I quite like the look of her. You kind of know how to drive her too, a wee bit.
You drive her on a bit.
We'll not give him that much credit, but you have 460 horse. Basically a Volvo, the only difference is a Chinese cab.
That's the only difference, yeah. She's got the I-shift.
I-shift?
I-shift, yeah.
Chinese I-shift or I-shift?
I-shift.
Proper?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Scania's better though.
No, there's no comparison.
Hey boy, what happened to him?
It's just an experience.
Oh, I love it.
I'm excited to come to work every day For 20 years we've been doing this business, and excited to have new people in the business, learning. Team culture for us is hugely important, and our culture in the business is very valuable to us. And obviously, you know, if someone's not happy within the business and they drag everyone else down, we'd rather them move on. You know, all we want in this business is for people to be happy in their employment, and if they're not happy at Quigley's, you know, they'd be better to be happy somewhere else. All we're after is a happy team of people that want to work together, and yeah, it's crucial to us. We started bringing in overseas workers from England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland back in probably about 2 years, maybe the second season we started, so back in 2004, 2005. Yeah, so we've had ranging from 3 or 4 guys the first year, and today we'd have 25, 28, but we've had as high as 30 people coming in to work for us. Normally in the ideal world, we'd have a third, we'd have 10 or 12 or 15 people coming back from the previous year or previous years. So bringing experience in every year is a massive help, yeah. Everything's here. So around employing overseas staff, we're looking for attitude, just open, honest, good people, and just an attitude that's just can-do attitude that fits our culture. And we've got strong values around treating people how we want to be treated ourselves. So if we have people that fall outside of that at times, we'll pull them up on it. But we're always trying to ensure that everyone within our business, we would treat them how we'd want to be treated ourselves, but they would treat each other how they'd want to be treated themselves. So we're pretty strong on that. The overseas staff have been hugely important to Quigley Contracting's growth. Have been a massive part of Quigley Contracting's growth, and the reason for that is because we're a seasonal business. Our seasonal demand for overseas guys to come in here, guys and girls to come in here, is from mid-September, early October, through to end of May season, which is the end of April. We're obviously double in staff numbers through that time, so our business goes from 35 full-time staff to 70 peak season through that time, and having the overseas guys and girls coming in with a great attitude and coming out for an experience is crucial to this business. It has been crucial. So the hiring process, so we typically, we put ads up on Facebook May, June, and we ask for applicants. We go through a process of ringing references, and we have conversations with the applicants, and we talk to the references, and then we make decisions sort of by middle of July. We've made a decision who we want, so we offer jobs, and then we work with them around visas and getting them into New Zealand. And so our admin team here are outstanding, and are the one point of contact around helping them with visas and organising all of that. When they arrive, we bring them into this business, we induct, we show them everywhere around the yard, around the accommodation. We get them set up with banks and IRD numbers and all of the paperwork. That's sort of like a 2-day process of being inducted, and then they get sent out onto the machinery that we feel are capable to start with, and we train, and we go through a training process around that. We pick the guys up from the airport. We let them use a vehicle of ours for the first wee while until we sort of give them a week or 2 weeks just to get themselves sorted and find a vehicle. We have accommodation with 2 cooks that look after the team. Yeah, all of the meals are all provided. Cook breakfast in the morning, cook breakfast provided, pack lunch. Sitting there, people can pick the lunch, whatever they want, and then coming home at night, they have a cooked meal. There is an option for them to take meals out with them through the day, and we provide a little 12-volt cooker if they want to have their meal. If we're working long hours, they can have their meal out in the paddock. When I worked for contractors back before I started, I saw both. We're in the UK, and I was doing a baling season in Lincolnshire, worked for amazing people, but you had to cook for yourself and find your own accommodation, cook for yourself. And when you're working long hours, you don't sort of eat that well, and you're getting tired and you're getting crook, and the well-being of your people is absolutely crucial. So we try to take control of that and make sure that we're providing a really good experience in the time in Quigley's. Definitely finding your feet in New Zealand, flying out from the other side of the world, having a settled home environment effectively with a group of 20 people around you. You can support and look after each other, and we've put all the measures in place to make sure that they're accommodated for. Yeah, when I travelled to the UK the first year, I was 18, and we were looked after. We met a family that absolutely looked after us, and he cooked for us and absolutely cared for us, and we went from being very homesick in the first few days when we first flew to the UK to being comfortable just like being at home, and our experience was based on the back of how we were looked after. So I think anyone in business, it doesn't matter whether it's a contracting business or it's any farming business or any business, it's you got to take your hat off to anyone that employs anyone and runs a business, because it's the stuff, it's the sleepless nights, it's the payments due and wages due, and whether it's financial, whether it's health and safety and well-being of your people, or there's always something when you employ people. It's enjoyable and I absolutely love it, but there is the times, anyone in business would understand this, there's the times where it's pretty tough. What does it take? You got to have a passion for agriculture, which I've got. I absolutely love farming, pretty passionate about what we do and passionate about our business, and I think while you're enjoying your job, it's not even a job. I turn up to work every day, and I'm excited to be here, and exciting working with a young group of people that are have all got a great attitude and making things happen for our customers. That's exciting. To be honest with you, we started with one baler, and then we bought another one, and we had no idea of our growth or potential. We couldn't foresee what's happened. It's just we've been in the right place at the right time. We've had great people work for us over the years, and still today, and our customer base have grown. Our customers have grown in size in that time as well, and so no, I had no idea. I never dreamt of running a business like this, and I suppose I've had the ability to grow my own skill set with it, around managing people and a sizable business like this. We haven't just started with 70 staff. We've grown, steadily over that time to where we are today. So I drive when we get short, and I have to. Probably haven't done in the last few years, but just this season we've been pretty busy, and I'll hop in and drive gear when I have to. And I enjoy. I absolutely love it when I'm driving the gear. I just a couple of days at a time is probably enough, just because there's other work that has to be done as well. So I love my balers. Either a square baler or fusion. That's probably my absolute preferred job. What success looks like for us is a happy customer. A safe, happy work environment is absolutely crucial to us. We take a lot of pride in the way we look after our people in this business, and it's absolutely crucial to us. We wouldn't be where we are today without the amazing people we've had working for us. I think it's the sense of achievement with the team, pulling a big team together like Quigley Contracting, and making things happen, and being under pressure and being able to deliver for the customers and do a quality job at scale is quite an achievement. And it's also the fun, like it's the hype. We're in harvest season, we've got awesome people working for us, we all have a laugh, we go and have a beer together. That's the enjoyable thing, and the personalities we meet, like the friendships that we've grown with our people in this business is mind-blowing, and they all look out for each other. We've had some things happen over time, and the amount of phone calls and messages we'll get from guys that have been working for us over the years is incredible, and they still keep in touch after many years.